The public begins paying respects to the late Pope Francis.
Lawlessness will not rule the day in America's finest city.
San Diego mayor and chief of police say San Diego is one of the safest cities in the nation. A new report showing overall crime is down in San Diego.
Plus, when a safe parking site for homeless San Diegans will open near Liberty Station.
I just remember patting her back and saying, I got you, you're safe, it's okay.
The special bond between a San Diego police sergeant and the little girls she helped rescue. It's 6 a.m. on Wednesday, April 23rd, and you're up with CBS 8. Thank you so much for joining us here, 6 a.m. on this Wednesday. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Nada Irampour. And we do want to start off with our forecast here. Meteorologist Evan Narani. Yeah, it's been so nice each afternoon.
Right, yeah.
And I mean, in many cases, it's 10, 11 a.m. that people are able to get out and enjoy the full sunshine. So when we're out in the gray in the morning stretch, it's not as much of a nuisance because you're pretty aware that those clouds are going to be breaking apart. Today's no different. We do have a dense layer of clouds from the coast to our inland valleys, a couple areas of mist and drizzle perhaps. And then as we get into the afternoon, partly cloudy skies with temperatures in the mid-60s by the coast, upper 60s inland. We'll be talking more about wind that'll pick up this afternoon and about a cooler trend of weather that we'll encounter by this weekend. That's all coming up in just a few. Back to you.
All right, Evan, thank you for that. Right now, members of the public can now enter St. Peter's Basilica to pay their final respects to Pope Francis. His body will lie in state until his funeral this Saturday.
This morning, he made his final journey from the papal residence to the Basilica in a solemn procession led by cardinals. The White House says President Trump will depart Washington on Friday to travel to the Pope's funeral. The date of the conclave to choose the next pope has not been announced, but it is expected to be next month. Be sure to stay with CBS 8 as we remember Pope Francis and follow what comes next. You can also watch the very latest on our free streaming channel, CBS 8 Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
A new report this morning shows overall crime is down in the city of San Diego.
Yeah, the mayor and chief of police say this proves that the city is one of the safest in the nation. CBS 8's Regina Yarita live downtown with a closer look at the crimes, which ones are up and which ones are down here.
Good morning, guys. This is certainly something you want to hear, especially if you're a resident in San Diego. You want to know that your community at least is safe and the overall crime rate is down. And according to officials, that is the case. They say for the third consecutive year in 2024, they have seen a decrease in overall crime. So Mayor Todd Gloria and Police Chief Scott Wall presented the city's 2024 crime statistics, highlighting significant drops in violent crimes and positioning San Diego as one of the safest big cities in the nation. According to the report, homicides were down nearly 20%, shootings dropped by 30%, robberies and sexual assaults fell close to 11% each, and motor vehicle thefts declined by 20%. Other positive trends included hate crimes and a drop in prostitution, which officials linked to increased enforcement efforts. However, there are some crime categories that did see some increases, like shoplifting, drug offenses, and kidnapping. While most of the city experienced crime reductions, there were 2 city council districts that saw overall increases, and that is District 3 with a 5.6% rise and District 2 with a 2.4% increase. Overall, officials attribute the recent crime reduction to effective policing strategies, but here's what Mayor Gloria emphasized.
Not by luck. That is not by happenstance. It is a decision that we have made as mayor, as police chief, and as a community that lawlessness will not rule the day in America's finest city.
And city leaders, as well as the police chief, did not attribute any specific policing. They, in fact, emphasized that really this trend comes from a strong police department, but that is in the middle of talks of certain reductions coming to that department, and we'll have more on that in the later shows. But for now, I'll send it back to you.
Regina, thank you. As the city of San Diego faces a projected $250 million budget deficit, Mayor Todd Gloria is proposing shutting down the SDPD's Northwestern Division in Carmel Valley. It also serves Del Mar Heights, Sorrento Valley, Torrey Highlands, and Black Mountain Ranch. It would be consolidated with the Northeastern Division in Rancho Petasquitos. Chief Scott Wall says all communities would retain police coverage. The move would save the city $1.7 million, but critics say that the real cost could be to public safety.
Call 911, they expect somebody to answer and they expect an officer to show up. And to cut public safety is absolutely irresponsible.
A series of budget hearings will be held from May 5th to the 9th before the revised budget proposal is presented to City Council on May 19th. The new budget is expected to be adopted by June 10th. Today, the Oceanside City Council is voting on whether its police department can use drones as first responders. The department says this could help officers know what they are getting into before arriving on scene, which can help to de-escalate situations. But critics worry about surveillance, how long the video would be saved, and who has access to it. If approved, the 13-month pilot program would begin this summer. This morning, we are learning the San Diego City Council is moving forward with plans to open a new safe parking site at H Barracks, which is near the airport.
Council members approved a new one-year contract with Jewish Family Service to open this new lot. CBS 8's Chris Groh joining us live near that new site with details on when it's set to open and what it will entail. Good morning, Chris.
Yeah, good morning. And we've seen these safe sleeping sites in the past really help out those who are confined to living in their vehicles. And we've actually toured some of these sites and seen just how it is and heard people's stories about how they went from, again, sleeping in, having an apartment, sleeping in hotels, and then eventually sleeping in their vehicles, just strokes of bad luck or things that would happen in their life. And at these safe sleeping sites, they have the ability to connect with services, whether it be housing, job services, and other very necessary services to getting them out of these safe sleeping sites. So what we are going to see happen here with the H Barracks site is that this is going to have about 190 spots, which will nearly double the program right now operating in the city. Yesterday's move finalized that contract with Jewish Family Service, who has helped operate other of the safe sleeping sites, but also allows for them to continue providing a lot of those similar support services for this area. Now, of course, as we know, this H Barracks site with the safe sleeping site has been a point of contention with some residents in the group Point Loma Cares, who have raised concerns about environmental safety, proximity to schools, playgrounds, and a lack of community input. Mayor Todd Gloria and City Council, again, have pushed back against that, saying that they have engaged residents and that communication has been there. Now, as for the future of this H Barracks site, we do know that this is going to operate until about 2029. There is a clean water program that is scheduled to go here. It remains to be seen if this is something that can be extended past 2029. But right now, it does look like this is going to be about 4 years. And then it is expected to start here in May, relatively soon. Eric and Netta.
Chris, thank you so much for the details on that. Strong words from the head of the Environmental Protection Agency after touring the Tijuana River Valley to get a firsthand look at the cross-border sewage crisis. EPA Chief Lee Zeldin spoke candidly to local leaders and reporters about the need for Mexico to do its part in fixing this issue.
Care that there are no more beach closures. We care that there's no more foul smells. We care that there's no more harm to public health. The American who just cares about having it resolved, they don't give a how it gets done, as long as this crisis is over. The facility itself.
You see this bipartisan group of leaders there. Zeldin says California needs to declare a state of emergency before the federal government does. Zeldin also met with the Mexican Environmental Secretary, talking about the importance of maintaining treatment facilities on both sides of the border.
All right, taking a peek outside here. It's going to be another nice, comfortable day with those gray clouds starting things off before they just kind of disappear.
It's good coffee weather. I like
it's fantastic. And there are a lot of people who like to get outside and get the walker running, walk the dog maybe before the sun comes out. They like the low UV exposure. They like the cooler temperatures, a little bit of a breeze out there. Whereas by the afternoon, we'll be seeing sunny blue skies. That UV exposure tends to climb quite a bit, really requiring sunscreen at times. And then the breeze that we see right now is going to turn into more wind as we get toward the afternoon. There's a bit of fog in Ramona, in El Cajon. That's about it. Not a lot of trouble this morning. When we talk about those wind gusts and sustained speeds, it's the mountains and deserts where we're most concerned about that uptick. And that's going to be mainly around 4, 5 p.m., where our mountains and deserts will move toward 40, 50 miles per hour, especially as you make your way toward Imperial County versus what we have out by the coast where things are mostly in the teens and low 20s. Forecast highs are going to be in the 70s again for Santee and El Cajon. La Mesa's shooting for 68 degrees, PB 62, 68 in Mira Mesa will take you up to North County. You've got mainly mid and upper 60s. Escondido, Poway, RB, San Marcos, all looking at a high of 68 this afternoon. Out the door right now, downtown San Diego is at 60. Again, one of the warmest spots along the California coast. San Luis Obispo at 52, Bakersfield at 58 right now, and Fresno at 53. If you're in Flagstaff, Arizona right now, you're at 31 degrees. Now here locally, today and tomorrow are our warmest days of the next 5 or so before that trough of low pressure arrives overhead. That's going to help to cool us down for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It will also induce a bit more cloud cover across the coast and inland, and maybe even a few stray showers could pop up as we get towards Saturday and Sunday, though those chances are pretty low. Let's jump into traffic, talk about drive times outside. Earlier this morning, we were seeing that the Coronado Bridge speeds were down to 12 miles per hour, even slower now at 6:11. You're down to 7 miles per hour over the Coronado Bridge from downtown to Coronado. It's going to be a 19-minute commute, typical with people trying to get onto base, but keep in mind that it's going to take you quite a bit of time. 163 northbound and 8 westbound are looking smooth. In the meantime, let's also take a look at your drive times over our borders, our port of entry. San Ysidro port of entry, 8 minutes, very, very slow, or excuse me, very quick, versus Otay Mesa port of entry, which is very slow at 90 minutes. So quite a discrepancy there between the San Ysidro and Otay Mesa port of entry as you start off your Wednesday morning commute out there.